Okay, the camera from the thrift shop, I guess the SD card was full, so now I'm trying my camera again, and actually it kind of came on when I did some pressing of buttons and pressing of the screen. But this is what I see, okay? So you can see what I see is not great, but you see me, I believe, clearly, because the problems aren't necessarily with the camera at this time, although that camera has done weird things like point sideways when my computer's straight and only seeing part of my face and things like that. It's a Dell, right? And it's a Dell with ATBC that I'll be taking to court eventually with the cheapest warranty you can get. And that's why they put it so long, because really they put so many reused parts eventually, it doesn't even last as long as the warranty. And I didn't want a Dell again because I had problems with Dell before, but they pushed that on me as a student because they had this contract that is the cheapest one possible, which is really just recycling stuff. Same thing with Food Bank. Again, thank you, Food Bank, but man, I'm getting fruit flies. I was given so many fruit that are starting to go bad, and I can't eat all this one person. They know I'm one person, and but I feel bad throwing away food, so I'm doing my best, and then I got to find places to compost, and it's hard to do that. And it's hard to throw away food for me, and it's you can get in trouble if you put garbage or recycling in places that they think you're not allowed to be environmentally friendly unless it really makes no sense, your species. So last time I went to Rat Trevor camping, is the boss was there, and I made a few jokes with her. I said, "Oh yeah," I said, "That's what you look like with a hat." I said. He said, "Oh, she was like, she looks really tired," which of course is she didn't like hearing that. And I made a joke, and I said, "Well, I got 3 days left. When do you think I can come back?" And she said, "Well, September 6th, maybe, but there'll be a lot of seniors, blah blah." But even if I come back and I see that there's spots when I walk around that area, when I come back, they're going to say there's no spots, because the lady that was new before, I mean, the last time I was there and it was just her, she said, no, there's nothing. It's got to be a reservation, blah blah blah. But you walk around and plenty of people didn't show up, but they don't need that extra work. They're all burned out. So the boss would say, "Oh no, we got so much to do right now," and everybody's sharing the low energy because of the way that the management is bad, starting from BC Parks and going all the way down by their choices of who they hire and then who they hire. It gets to the part that you need to be slaves who don't question things, who burn out, and things get worse and worse every time, every year. Anyways, what I'm going to do, it'd be an interesting experiment, is I would reserve anyways, because you can still, I believe, reserve. I believe. I have to look into it. But if I can reserve after September 6th and pay a reservation fee, let's say, and then come back there and say, "Hey, I'm here for the last 3 days that you owe me," and after a week they kind of throw you out, even though I had a second week coming, because it was entering the reservation period. So it's kind of weird, the agreement that they have with people with the ministry. They can be kicked out, and then we have to ask emergency crisis grants from the ministry. So it's really weird how everything is interconnected, and you guys don't make sense of it. So if I could go there and say, "I'm here for my last 3 days," and then they give me crap, and then I record with the phone in my lap all this discrimination, especially wanting to go when the boss is there. And then I would say, "Okay, so will I get my reservation fee reimbursed then?" What? Oh, of course. Oh, that'd be an interesting conversation after that. So right now, the ministry that broke a contract that was not even involving them, between me and the owner of the Musi Cho, the motorhome here, has failed to send him his check this month, and they know that I'm asking why, and I believe, I haven't checked in again today, but I believe they haven't answered yet. So again, why do I call them the Ministry of Poverty Creation, Homelessness Creation, Addiction, and Mental Illness Creation? It's because they act as I predict, which is consistent and getting worse because of their HSD flaws. So again, I'm doing all this problem solving, which is the issues you're giving me when I want to be productive in my life, not just for the advancement of my life, but of yours, and you won't let me. So that's a pretty failed species right there. So anyways, so maybe I'll just sell this motorhome and just say I in the ad, have to sell motorhome because Ministry of Poverty Creation failed in their agreement that they forced me and this seller to get into later on. It's kind of weird. And of course, if I say this to the legal system or politicians or police or ombudsman. Nobody's actually going to advocate for this, right? Because your species is flawed. Now, let's say I say this in a way that people don't know me, or in an email that doesn't say Dr. Humanix. They would want to advocate for me. They'd be outraged. But then if they hear my story, which is the truth and who I am and my life and my intelligence and my devotion and my commitment to just be one person who sells his reputation. I don't sell an image. And again, my reputation in a society that doesn't value intelligence is kind of worthless, but it's what I am proud of. So that's who I am. So, they would start identifying with people that they would not have identified with before if I tell my story live in person, or they already know me, or it's coming from the Dr. of Humanix email with, often these videos on YouTube that people say, I don't like this guy. I identify more with the redneck that I would have judged the day before, but now I so don't identify with Martin that I'm going to identify with the redneck. And that's who you are, right? It's about not problem solving, really, is your specialty. So a lot of potential employers, extra expenses, all these things are compromised by you guys. I just met an employer that is in dire straits because they're missing a product where they can't even deliver their service without it. And I proved to them while I'm there sitting and being comfortable and them noticing their dog suddenly liked me right away. And that I'm learning from what they're teaching me. And they're giving me a lot of information, but then I say, okay, well, email me when you're ready. This is what I propose. Half a day, where you pay me half a day, and then you allow me to do this problem-solving research where we find alternatives or find more what's happening and how to, let's say, keep going with certain clients who won't have specific needs that will be compromised by this missing product, which is a major foundational product that must be delivered for them to succeed in their business, and they're very busy and backed up. Now the person in charge of that, and the other kind of owner kind of walked away a little bit. He said he's in charge, and that person probably is protecting their ego and reputation and probably won't allow, and probably the other two don't feel confident with somebody like me, right, who says, yeah, I've had to teach PhD people about proper research skills. So I can help you and I can demonstrate, and we can use a whiteboard and it'll branch out to these things, and when some are dead end, we'll write them off. A little bit what I do when I tutor math. And so this is what I offer. And could be a business saving service. And if they offer me minimum wage, I'd still take it. But I predict that they won't take advantage of this. Their business could crash because their egos and paranoia. Who's this guy? Is he like some sort of competitor or whatever, industrial espionage? Whatever it is that makes people think flawlessly instead of accepting solutions from me at minimum wage to help their entire business succeed, that is getting super busy, that's popular, and that grew really quickly until this product can no longer be found. That's real. I'm not making this stuff up, people. This is really who you are. So they're providing me information, right? I'm understanding where they're coming from. I could easily problem solve this, think outside the box of things. And I said, it's not a reflection on you. It's just I'm good at thinking outside the box and problem solving these things and research and finding things and asking questions in this secondary way, then this third way. And I said, and even if suddenly your product comes back, I said, now at least with me here, you would have developed a plan B and see if this happens again, blah, blah, blah. And you'd learn a resiliency in staying in this business. But I predict that they're not going to hire me. So again, it's, I'm just going to read comic books right now because I'm stuck with you guys, the people primates, the Homo community.